Good morning. We're back finally. We've had a busy couple weeks and haven't been able to make too many videos or check on the bees too much. And mainly it was me being a sissy because it's too stinking hot. But it's cooled off today. Today is August 2nd. We're in north central Kentucky, just a little bit south of Louisville. And it's about 8:30 in the morning. And yesterday was what many consider to be the beginning of the beekeeper's year. Beekeeper's year starts in August. So what we do next year, what honey we're able to make, what hives are able to survive, all starts now in the month of August. So that's what we're up to. That's what we're about. And we'll be right back. All right, we're going to be treating mainly with Apiguard this morning. This is a new tub of Apiguard. Hopefully I don't drop it on the ground. My stuff is not too level. But we're going to be using Apiguard, and I also got some Viroxan strips to use. So some of the hives, depending on the hive, I might use a little bit of both, but mainly just using the Apiguard this morning. Like I say, this is the beginning of the beekeeper's year. I've checked hives many times over the years, and my mite counts always go up and then peak in the month of August. So by August, I have to keep things simple. I'm simple-minded, I guess. The smoke's gonna follow me wherever I go. I have to keep things simple for me, so I do things kind of by the month. The month of March is for reversing. The month of April is for splitting, and the month of August is for treating. So I'm going to treat with this Apiguard. I'm going to do a 25 gram dose and do it a week apart and try to get at least three doses in before the end of August. But the end of August, all the treatment will be done for now. I normally use this spell for treating with Apiguard, but they've developed some resistance. Noticed last year a lot of the big beekeepers lost a lot of hives because the mites are developing a resistance to the Apiguard. So it's always worked great for me, and I'm sure it probably would again this year, but I'm changing it up and bought the Viroxan. But I usually treat, and this is just what I do, but I usually treat 3 times in the fall. I don't treat in the spring. In my experience, we tried to check some bees one time under a microscope, and or some mites, to see if they were mite biter bees, and we couldn't find any mites to check early in the year. So I don't have a lot of mites in my hives. It might be my breed of bees, it could be just me, I don't know. But I haven't noticed a lot of mites in the spring. Maybe it's because we do a good job of treating in the fall, but I don't usually start treatments until end of July or 1st of August. But the treatment plan this year is to get this Apiguard on them. Then I'll come back with the Viroxan a little later. It doesn't cause any problems at all. And then I'll do the oxalic acid vapor when they don't have any brood, sometime around December, before the winter solstice, I guess it is. So we'll do that then, and that should take care of the majority of our mites. We should be in good shape to make a honey crop next year. What we're using today, the Apiguard, it will, without a doubt, shut down the queens from laying. I've got a lot of new queens. They're in really good shape. But with that smell in there, it's a very strong, it's a thymol-based product, and it shuts down the queens. But once you get done treating and take it out, they come back stronger than ever, and you'll see full frames of bees, and you'll see those winter bees starting to get made after we get this Apiguard out. So there is pluses and minuses to everything as I get smoked to death. And that's just one of the things you got to be prepared for. And some people won't use it. I hate, bees smell 50 times better than a dog. So it's a natural product, but I can't imagine. Of course, we try to relate everything into human terms, but I can't imagine being in there with that smell. But if it takes care of the mites and gets rid of their problems and the viruses and things that comes along with it, then that's what we're going to do, and we're going to take care of them. But after we take this out, and we'll do a video and show you, but you'll notice a big difference in how healthy they look. They look healthy now, but they'll look more healthy after we get the Apiguard out of them. So that's where we're at. We're going to put some spacers. These are worth their weight in gold. This is the top of a hive that was rotted. You can see it's still got the frame rest in here. But these spacers are invaluable. I've used these spacers to put the mothball crystals, paradichlorobenzene on the hive. So I've got a bunch of them in use already with my honey supers. And today we're going to use them to give it a little space so that the bees can access the top of the Apiguard and make sure they get that carried through the hive. But this is our first treatment of at least 3, and they'll be about a week apart as we can get out here. We all have the same problem, I think, and I face this all the time, as we try to be multitask. We try to multitask and get everything done at once. And sometimes in beekeeping, we come out here and there's a multitude of things that needs to be done out here. You'll see we need to do some cleanup. We got equipment on the ground. We've got hive parts that need to be replaced. We've got all kind of stuff that needs to be done. But sometimes in beekeeping, especially now, these mite treatments cannot wait. So I can't get caught up with cleanup and doing all the other stuff right now because these mite treatments have got to be done. So the goal is to get this yard treated today, hopefully by lunchtime, and maybe get the other yard treated today, and if not today, then for sure Monday. All right, so to mix this stuff really well. I don't know how in a gel like this it would settle out, but that's what it says to do, so we're gonna mix it up good. All right, it comes with these pads to put it on, and we're going to use them. And it comes with this syringe to apply it with. And it's got graduations on it, and we're just going to take up to 25 milliliters, which is pretty close to the same thing in grams. I don't think it has to be rocket science perfect, but that's what we're going to do and apply to each of these. Like I say, the temperature next week or so is going to be in the 80s, and then the week after that be in the 90s. So, well, I did that last time. It's got a cap on it. Let me get my gloves. Sometimes you make the same mistake year after year after year, and I always forget that there's a cap on that syringe. And now it probably suck up in there a little better now. Like I say, we burned up to 30, but it's got a little bit of air in it, so I think we're good. And then we're just going to apply it on a cord. I'll lay a few of these out. Try to spread it out so that the bees can get to it good. I always kind of read up on it, I guess, watch YouTube on it before I do it every year. And there's mixed opinions whether it's the vapor of this stuff going down through the hive. It's heavier than air, so it sinks to the bottom. But I'm not sure if that's what has the effect on the mites. And there's other people that say that the mites will walk through it and then carry it about the hive, and that's what kills the mites. And it's, to be honest, it's probably a combination of both. There was other mixed ideas on ventilation. Some of them said kind of close, if you got screen bottom boards, close up the hive so that the stuff stays in there. And then I heard seen others, watched others that said to leave it open so it ventilates and goes out of the hive. But so I'm gonna pretty much, I was gonna close everything up good, but now I think I'm just gonna put them in there the way they are and then go from there. This is a 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I bought, and they are packed full and so heavy it took everything we could do for me and my son to lift them. And then I set this trailer, I was going to tell you too, this trailer I had to use for building the deck. That nice fancy deck down there. So I set these off on the ground. And this hive I got to pick up, and it's super heavy. The month of March is going to be treatment month. Another date that we look at, or that I look at, is October here in Kentucky, central Kentucky. Our first, we look at the frost-free date when the last frost is around Derby Day or first Saturday in May or May 10th. But also you need to think about the last or the first freeze or frost date, and have an idea in your head of when that's going to be to kind of get some stuff done. I want to have the entrance reducers on, everything cleaned up, hive parts changed out, if I can, before that date. For me, and what I look at is somewhere around October 15th, we're going to get a frost or a freeze. Oh my gosh. Wish Hansberry was here. Sucker's heavy. But it's not going to slide off. Those others are really slick on the bottom for some reason. This one definitely needs a bottom board changed out. It's got plywood and it's come apart. You want them to have a little room. I'm not sure how it's going to work with these nukes because they ain't got much room under there. But you want them to have a little room to be able to access the treatment. These feeders are here if I need them, but I haven't used a feeder in a while. I took the supers. I always kind of watch other beekeepers take off their honey a little bit soon, and I actually took off mine a little bit soon this year. So they were able to take the rest of that honey that would have went into supers and filled their boxes up. So these boxes are super full. There's a little bit of room for them to access that one. We get these bigger boxes, we'll put those spacers on. Touches it a little bit there, but not too bad. But yeah, they were able to use a lot of that flow. Instead of me taking it off, they were able to use it to fill out the rest of the hives. These hives are, I don't know if you can see that, but it's really full. This one almost really needs a spacer. We'll put it in there for now. We're gonna have to make some spacers, I think, for these nukes. You know, I guess, you know, beekeeping is not an absolute necessity for woodworking, but boy, it sure helps, because I'm gonna be going down there today and making some more spacers for the big ones and some of these little spacers too. Smoker. If you're gonna have very many hives, it sure helps to have some woodworking skills. The flow is over, we're into the dearth now. You gotta be careful about leaving these hives open very long. And you don't have to worry about the burr comb as much. So we can turn these covers, this is the winter side. We can turn these covers down now because they're not gonna put burr comb up in it. So that'll give us some space. Some space for our Apiguard treatment to go in there. These hives that I got that I bought are super heavy. Like I said, I don't think they've been messed with all of the whole year. So they're glued together really bad, good, however you want to call it. They're really stuck together, which has worked out really good for getting them home, because I didn't have to worry about them falling apart too much. Definitely use a spacer on that one. I would love to go through these, take some time and go through these hives because I just got them home. But I know they've got to be treated. Especially with him not doing, you know, anything with them or too much with them. Which he did more than most, because what most people do is they wait till all their hives die and then they call somebody to come buy what's left over and they don't get nothing for them. So he did better than most, kept them alive, got some good strong hives. For somebody to come in and kind of take them over. We're going to change that cover out. The cover, it actually slid off. The trailer's tilted so much, it actually slid off the trailer, this one did. So they were on their side for about 3 hours. Day before yesterday, I think. A little bit of burr comb in them. So we'll have to fix that cover, but that's again where the woodworking comes in. You gotta, always got something you need to fix or do something with. I wouldn't be surprised to see mite strips or something in here too, which we'll check that when we do get a chance to go in them. Like I say, I can't be distracted by doing other stuff right now because I got to get these treatments done. Gots to be done. That one's up off of it a little bit where they can access it, so I'm not going to use a spacer. Try to use these sparingly. Let me get a cover. Still not the best cover, but it's a lot better than what was on there. Bring y'all down here. I've had them out here, these bees out here for a couple days, so they've had time to get used to the space and know where they're at. Honey all over top of that one. We're gonna lay that up there and then use a spacer, so we're not gonna clean all that up just quite yet. I guess I need to put the freaking inner cover back on there. Yeah, this Apiguard is a lot more convenient to put on than some of the others. If we was using those Roxanne strips, it's one strip, let's see. Roxanne strips are one strips for every 2.5 frames of brood. So it would be, we'd have to break all these down in half, and it'd take a lot longer to put the Roxanne on right now. So if it was still 95 degrees, excuse me, I'd probably use the strip, the beans that's cooled down. We're gonna do this Apiguard, and like again, it's I'm gonna do it the whole month of August. And this is the first look I'm getting at these hives because we didn't take them apart. I took one of them apart. I seen they had bees all over the outside of them when I went to buy them, and they're super heavy. So I wasn't too worried about them being, you know, when I went over, I wanted to make sure they were queen right. But seeing that, I don't think there's too much danger of them not being queen right. But this is, I looked at one of them, I haven't looked at any of the rest of them, so you're seeing with me the inside of these hives, these fives, for the first time. He said he had a lot of, he said he was, his place was a swarm magnet, which I'm sure it was these hives that were swarming. And a lot of people, you know, I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't want them bees prone to swarming. I want bees that's prone to not swarming. Once again, just my opinion, but if you get bees that don't swarm, it's usually because they're not healthy. That's the reason they don't swarm. Healthy bees swarm. I want bees that want to swarm. I'm going to come in here next year and try to take 2 nukes off of every one of these and keep them or sell them. If I sell them, I'm going to sell them for $200 a piece, and I'm still going to make a honey crop off of them. So I want that. That's what I'm looking for. I want to increase my numbers. I want to be able to, at one point, have nukes to sell to other beekeepers. I want bees that's prone to swarm, because that to me means they're healthy. They're good, healthy bees. That's what I want. Huh. This had bars across there and he cut them out. Inner cover this time. It don't matter, it has all that burr comb on it too much, because we spaced it up. long as they don't slide it off, we'll be good. All right, we got 2 more to do. But yeah, I want good healthy bees are going to try, a bee, all species try to reproduce. They have their biggest desire is to reproduce. And with bees, the way they reproduce is by producing swarms. So that's not something to be shied away from. It's something to try hard to get. Is how does it want to swarm and produce enough bees where they can swarm. Swarming is only a response to too many bees in the hive. Dang, that one's glued down so good it tore up the inner cover getting it out. I'll come back through again and replace all these hive components that need it. But like I say, right now I just got to get these treatments on. We start the state fair. It's got a ventilation spot on the side. That's a little different. The state fair here in Kentucky starts. We'll start going in and taking honey in. We have a honey booth that beekeepers all across the state of Kentucky can bring their honey in and sell at the state fair. And I'm agreed to help out with that as much as I can this year. So starting on a week from tomorrow, we'll be taking in honey Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from beekeepers all across the state. And then Thursday starts the fair on the 14th, and it'll run through the 24th. And I'll be in there every day. So my work that I'm doing out here has got to be done by then, what I'm going to do. And then I'll be in there about every day. I'll probably take, depending on how much help we got, might take a morning off and come out here and work, or might take an afternoon off. So we'll see how it goes and how much help we have in there. But it's always a big to-do here in Kentucky. It's the State Fair honey booth. There's a lot of honey, beeswax, candles. We're going to have bourbon honey this year, hot honey, a lot of different types of honey and honey-related items available at the fair. We're doing a new license plate this year, and where you can get a license plate that says Protect Kentucky Bees, has Kentucky State Beekeepers Association on it. So that's going to be cool, but it's always neat to see beekeepers. A lot of these guys I've been to schools and classes and stuff with through the years, and you get to see a lot of people you haven't seen in a long time. And I'm really looking forward to being in there at the state fair and doing that stuff. But that's, I'm retired now, don't have a lot of responsibility, but I'll have to be responsible there for about 20 days, 14 days, something like that. So I'm looking forward to it and getting to see a lot of my old friends, old beekeepers. So a lot of you guys, hopefully I'll get to see you at the Kentucky State Fair. Come on out. I would love to meet you. All right, we got one more to do. More newt. We're gonna drop it in here without enough room. A hive like this and the one over there I just picked up, I couldn't hardly pick up, and these that we just carried in here are packed full of honey. I don't have to feed these. We'll see how their weight goes. If they start getting light, I'll start feeding. If we've made the fondant patties, we can make them pretty easy and throw them on here if we have to, if they eat all this. But they've got plenty to eat. Everything's got plenty to eat. So I'm not worried about them starving, and I'm not worried about going out and spending a bunch of money on sugar because they don't need to be fed. They're full of honey and full of bees. So they're looking like that. We're good. I don't have to spend a lot of money on that stuff. Don't scrimp on your treatments though. It takes some money to do this treatment stuff, and make sure you're doing your treatments. It'll pay off in the long run. Be money well spent. Let's see, smoke him down a little bit. Smoke them down, give us a spot to put our Apiguard. And we're good. All right, all these hives are treated with Apiguard. It'll be good for 1 week. I'll come back out here, try to next Saturday. Hopefully winds don't blow and the creek don't rise. And put another 25 milligrams, milliliters, whatever you want to call it, on here, and do that 3 times in this month, and then we'll have this yard good for mites for a little while. Like I say, we'll come back later with that Varoxan. You don't have to turn on your red light. I'm sorry, Varoxan, and treat with that, and then we'll do a follow-up, just a cleanup treatment in the December, right before Christmas probably, and treat with the oxalic acid vapor. So that's kind of the way we do things. That's what we're looking to do. Well, once we do that treatment in December, we won't treat again until next August. Unless we test some. We could test some. I wanted to say something about that too. I don't treat, the way that I treat, I guess is the way to say it. You know, I treated one time, I had the idea I was gonna treat just the ones that needed it. And I had all the colonies needed treatment except one, and it didn't. So I didn't treat it. Treated all the rest of them. I checked them again in a month and a half, and the one colony that I didn't treat had 26 mites and a wash of 300 bees. And the ones that I did treat had 1 or 2 mites maybe. So my philosophy is I treat everything. Mites are just an issue that you're gonna have. Hopefully you have hives that resist, are able to take some mite pressure. But I treat everything. That's just the way I do things. And I don't often check. I'll check to make sure it worked on some of them, just to make sure I don't have a problem, but I don't expect to have a problem with the way that we're doing our treatment program. So that's just the way I do things. It works for me. I need all these hives healthy when it comes to next year. You know, if we had cows or raised cows or sheep or whatever, you give them things to help keep them healthy. We take medicine ourselves to help keep us healthy. I take blood pressure medicine, don't want to, but that's just the way it's got to be. So, but I'm going to do the same thing with the bees and do everything I can to keep them healthy. And there's a big difference when you see a healthy hive compared to one that's not healthy. You don't have to see K-wing or shaking, bees or black bees with no hair. You don't have to see that. You can look at a hive when you get used to looking at them and tell if it's healthy or not. And one thing I will tell you, we'll do another video and I'll show you, but these bees, after we get done with this treatment and get it out of there, and that queen starts laying again, they will go crazy. They will be the most healthy bees that you've ever seen, and you'll be able to tell it just by glancing at the hive. It won't be hard to see. It's not a hard thing. It's not something you have to have years of experience or really even know what you're looking for, but healthy hive looks a lot different than one that's not healthy, just by glancing at it. So anyway, we're done with this one. This is home yard apiary 1. We'll do these hives down here. The next strip, we'll go ahead and do them. It'll be number 2 at the home yard, and then the ones on the end down there will be 3 at the home yard. And we'll get that Bee Plus app going, and I'll show you some of those data plates I make with the QR code. I remember QR code on it, and once we get them all done. So I'm excited about getting all that stuff done. That's something I can work on. Anyways, thanks for watching. God bless y'all, and I'll see you on the next video.